Hello everyone, this is Gnursi, and we are going to continue on with the dictionary. We left off last time on abrotanum, noun, from Greek. A species of plant arranged under the genus Artemisa, called also southernwood. Abrupt, adjective. Latin for abruptus, from abrumpo, to break off, of ab and rumpo. See rupture, literally broken off or broken short, hence steep, craggy, applied to rocks, precipices, and the like. Figuratively, sudden, without notice to prepare the mind for the event, as an abrupt entrance and address. Unconnected, having sudden transitions from one subject to another, as an abrupt style. Ben Jonson. In botany, an abrupt pinnate leaf is one which neither leaflet nor tendril is at the end. Martin. Abrupt, noun, a chasm or gulf with steep sides, over the vast abrupt. Milton. This use of the word is infrequent. Abruption, noun, a sudden breaking off, a violent separation of bodies, Woodward. Abruptly, adverb, suddenly, without giving notice, or without the usual forms, as the minister left France abruptly. Abruptness, noun, a state of being broken, cragginess, steepness. Figuratively, suddenness, unceremonious, haste or vehemence. Abscess, noun, Latin abscessus, from ab and cedo, to go from. An imposthume, a collection of morbid matter or pus in the cellular or adipose membrane, matter generated by the suppuration of an inflammatory tumor. Quincy Hooper. Abscined, verb transitive, from the Latin abscindo, to cut off, little used. Absciss, noun, Latin abscissus, from ab and scindere, to cut. From Greek, see scissors. In conics, a part of the diameter or transverse axis of a conic section intercepted between the vertex or some other fixed point and a semi-ordinate. From the Encyclopedia. Abscission, noun, see absciss, a cutting off or a being cut off. In surgery, the separation of any corrupted or useless part of the body by a sharp instrument applied to the soft parts, as amputation is to the bones and flesh of a limb by Quincy. Abscond, verb intransitive, Latin abscondo, to hide, of abs and condo, to hide, i.e., to withdraw or to thrust aside into a corner or secret place. To retire from public view, or from the place in which one resides or is ordinarily to be found, to withdraw or absent oneself in a private manner, to be concealed, appropriately used of persons who secrete themselves to avoid a legal process, to hide, withdraw, or to be concealed, as the marmot absconds in winter, little used, by Ray. Absconder, noun, one who withdraws from public notice, or conceals himself from public view. Absconding, withdrawing privately from public view, as an absconding debtor who confines himself to his apartments, or absents himself to avoid the ministers of justice. In the latter sense, it is properly an adjective. Absence, noun, Latin absens, from absum, abs, to be away, ab and sum. A state of being at a distance in place, or not in company. It is used to denote any distance indefinitely, either in the same town or country or in a foreign country, and primarily supposes a prior presence. Speak well of one in his absence. Want, destitution, implying no previous presence, in the absence of conventional law. By C.H. Kent. In law, non-appearance, a not being in court to answer. Heedlessness, inattention to things present. Absence of mind is the attention of the mind to a subject which does not occupy the rest of the company, and which draws the mind from things or objects which are present to others distant or foreign. Absent, adjective, not present, not in company, at such a distance as to prevent communication. It is used also for being in a foreign country. A gentleman is absent on his travels. Absent from one another. Genesis 31:49. Heedless, inattentive, to persons present, or of subjects, or to subjects of conversation in company. An absent man is uncivil to the company. In familiar language, not at home, as the master of the house is absent. In other words, he does not wish to be disturbed by company. Absent, verb transitive, to depart from such a distance as to prevent intercourse, to retire or withdraw, to forbear to appear in presence, used with a reciprocal pronoun. Let a man absent himself from the company. Absentee, noun, one who withdraws from his country, office, or state, one who removes to a distant place or to another country. Absenter, noun, one who absents himself. Absentement, noun, a state of being absent by borrow. Absinthian, adjective, from absinthium, of the nature of wormwood. Randolph. Absinthiated, adjective, impregnated with wormwood. Dictionary. Absinthium, noun, from Greek, Persian, absinthin, the same in Chaldaic. Boides, in his commentaries on Theophrast, supposes the word composed of a, priv, and something else, the light, so named from its bitterness, but it may be an Oriental word. The common wormwood, a bitter plant, used as a tonic, a species of Artemisia. Abscess. In astronomy, see abscess. Absolute, adjective, Latin absolutus, see absolve. Literally. Let me get some light over here. Didn't notice it was so dark. Here we go. Where was I? Absolute, adjective, Latin absolutus, see absolve, literally, in a general sense, free, independent of anything extraneous, hence complete in itself. Positive, as an absolute declaration. Unconditional, as an absolute promise. Existing independent of any other cause, as God is absolute. Unlimited by extraneous power or control, as an absolute government or prince. Not relative, as absolute space. Stillingfleet. In grammar, the case absolute is when a word or a member of a sentence is not immediately dependent on the other parts of the sentence in government. Absolute equation in astronomy is the aggregate of the optic and eccentric equations. The apparent inequality of a planet's motion in its orbit, arising from its unequal distances from the Earth at different times, it's called its optic equation. The eccentric inequality is caused by the uniformity of the planet's motion in an elliptical orbit, which for that reason appears not to be uniform. Absolute numbers in algebra are such as have no letters annexed, such as 2a plus 36 equals 48. The two latter numbers are absolute or pure. Encyclopedia. Absolute space in physics is space considered without relation to any other object. From Bailey. Absolute gravity in philosophy is that property in bodies by which they are said to weigh so much without regard to circumstances of modification, and this is always as the quantity of matter they contained. Bailey. Absolutely adverb. Completely, wholly, as a thing is absolutely unintelligible, without dependence or relation, in a state unconnected. Absolutely we cannot discommend, we cannot absolutely approve either willingness to live or forwardness to die. By Hooker. Without restriction or limitation, as God reigns absolutely. Without condition, as God does not forgive absolutely, but upon condition of faith and repentance. Positively, peremptorily, as command me absolutely not to go. Milton. Absoluteness, noun, independence, completeness in itself. Despotic authority, or that which is subject to no extraneous restriction or control. Absolution, noun. In the civil law, an acquittal or sentence of a judge declaring an accused person innocent. In the canon law, a remission of sins pronounced by a priest in favor of a penitent. Among Protestants, a sentence by which an excommunicated person is released from his liability to punishment. Aelif, south. Absolutory, adjective, absolving, that absolves. Absolvatory, adjective, from absolve, containing absolution, pardon, or release, having power to absolve. Cotgrave. Absolve, verb transitive, absolve, Latin absolvo, from ab and solvo, to loose or release, Chaldean to absolve, to finish, Hebrew to loose or loosen, see solve. To set free or release from some obligation, debt, or responsibility, or from that which subjects a person to a burden or penalty, as to absolve a person from a promise, to absolve an offender, which amounts to an acquittal and remission of his punishment. Hence in civil law the word was used for acquit, and in the canon law for forgive, or a sentence of remission. In ordinary language, its sense is to set free or release from an engagement. Formerly, good writers used the word in the sense of finish, accomplish, as to absolve work, in Milton, but in this sense it seems to be obsolete. Absolved, preposition, Released, acquitted, remitted, declared innocent. Absolver, noun. One who absolves, also one that pronounces sin to be remitted. Next page. Absolving. Setting free from a debt or a charge. Acquitting, remitting. Absonate, adjective. See absonus. Wide from the purpose. Contrary to reason. Absonus. Absonius. Latin. Adjective. Absonius. Ab and sonus. Sound. Unmusical or untunable. By Fatherby. Absorb, verb transitive. Latin. Absorbeo. Ab and sorbeo. To drink in. From Aramaic, sharaba. From Ethiopic, or id, rab, to draw or drink in. When stripped, sherbet, shrub. To drink in, to suck up, to imbibe, as a sponge, or as the lacteals of the body. To drink in, swallow up, or overwhelm with water as a body in a whirlpool. To waste wholly or sink in expenses. To exhaust, as to absorb an estate in luxury. To engross or engage wholly, as absorbed in the study or pursuit of wealth. Absorbability, noun, a state or quality of being absorbable. Absorbable, adjective, that may be imbibed or swallowed. Here's lavioser. Absorbed or absorpt, preposition, imbibed, swallowed, wasted, engaged, lost in study, wholly engrossed. Absorbent, adjective, imbibing, swallowing. Absorbent, noun, in anatomy, a vessel which imbibes, as the lacteals, lymphatics, and inhaling arteries. In medicine, a testaceous powder or other substance which imbibes the humors of the body, as chalk or magnesia. Encyclopedia. Absorbing. Imbibing, engrossing, wasting, absorption, noun, the act of process of imbibing or swallowing, either by water which overwhelms, or by substances which drink in and retain liquids, as the absorption of a body in a whirlpool, or of water by the earth, or of the humors of the body in dry powders. It is used also to express the swallowing up of substances by the earth in chasms made by earthquakes, and the sinking of large tracts in violent commotions of the earth. In chemistry, the conversion of a gaseous fluid into a liquid or solid by union with another substance. Year. Absorptive, adjective, having power to imbibe. Darwin. Abstain, verb intransitive. Latin abstineo, to keep from. Abs and teneo, to hold. See tenant. In a general sense, to forbear, or refrain from. Voluntarily, but used chiefly to denote a restraint upon the passions or appetites. To restrain from indulgence. Abstain from meats offered to idols. Acts 15. To abstain from the use of ardent spirits. To abstain from luxuries. Abstemius, adjective. Latin abstemius, from abs and tentum, an ancient name of strong wine according to Fabius and Gellius, but Vossius supposes it to be from abstineo, by a change of n to m. It may be from the root of timeo, to fear, that is, to withdraw. Sparing in diet, refraining from a free use of food and strong drinks. Instances of longevity and are chiefly among the abstemious by Arbuthnot. Sparing in the enjoyment of animal pleasures of any kind. This sense is less common and perhaps not legitimate. Sparingly used, or used with temperance, belonging to abstinence, as an abstemious diet, an abstemious life. Abstemiously, adverb, temperately, with a sparing use of meat or drink. Abstemiousness, noun, the quality of being temperate, or sparing in the use of food and strong drinks. This word expresses a greater degree of abstinence than temperance. Absterge, verb transitive, absterge, Latin absterego, from abs and tergeo, to wipe. Tergeo may have a common origin with the Swiss torka, Greek trocknen, Dutch drogen, Saxon drygan, to dry. For these two tonic verbs signify to wipe as well as to dry. To wipe or make clean by wiping. To cleanse by resolving obstructions in the body, used chiefly as a medical term. Abstergent, adjective, wiping, cleaning, cleansing. Abstergent, noun, a medicine which frees the body from obstructions, as soap, but the use of the word is nearly superseded by detergent, which see. Abstersion, noun, from Latin abstergio, abstersus, the act of wiping clean, or a cleansing by medicines which resolve obstructions. See deterge, detersion, by Bacon. Abstersive, adjective, cleansing, having the quality of removing obstructions. See detersive. Abstinence, noun, Latin, abstinentia. See abstain, in general, the practice or the act of, or practice of voluntarily refraining from, or forbearing of any action. Abstinence from everything which can be deemed labor. Pales Philos. More appropriately, the refraining from an indulgence of appetite, or from customary gratifications of animal propensities. It denotes a total forbearance as in fasting, or a forbearance of the usual quantity. In the latter sense, it may coincide with temperance, but in general it denotes a more sparing use of the enjoyments than temperance. Beside, abstinence implies previous free indulgence, temperance does not. Abstinent. Adjective. Refraining from indulgence, especially in the use of food and drink. Abstinently. Adverb. With abstinence. Abstinence. A sect which appeared in France and Spain in the 3rd century, who opposed marriage, condemned the use of flesh meat, and placed the Holy Spirit in the class of created beings. Abstract. Verb transitive. Latin abstracto. To draw from or separate, from abs and traho, which is from the English draw, see draw. To draw from, or to separate, as to abstract an action from its evil effects, to abstract spirit from any substance by distillation, but in this sense extract is now more generally used. To express ideas by the operation of the mind, to consider one part of the complex object, or to have a partial idea of it in the mind, horn. To select or separate the substance of a book or writing, to epitomize or reduce to a summary, Watts. In chemistry, to separate as the more volatile parts of a substance by repeated distillation, or at least by distillation. Abstract. Adjective. Latin. Abstractus. Separate. Distinct from something else. An abstract idea in metaphysics is an idea separated from a complex object, or from other ideas which naturally accompany it, as the solidity of marble contemplated apart from its color or figure. Encyclopedia. Abstract terms are those which express abstract ideas, as beauty, whiteness, roundness, without regarding any subject in which they exist. Or abstract terms are the names of orders, genera, or species of things, in which there is a combination of similar qualities. By Stewart. Abstract numbers are numbers used without application to things, such as 6, 8, 10, but when applied to anything as 6 feet, 10 men, they become concrete. Abstract, or pure mathematics, is that which treats of magnitude or quantity without restriction to any species of particular magnitude, as arithmetic and geometry, opposed to that which is mixed mathematics, which treats of simple properties and the relations of quantity, as applied to sensible objects, as hydrostatics, navigation, optics, etc., from the Encyclopedia. Separate, existing in the mind only, as an abstract subject, an abstract question, and hence difficult, abstruse, abstract. Noun, a summary or epitome, containing the substance of a general view, or the principal heads of a treaty or writing. Watts. Formerly an extract, or a similar quantity containing the essence of a larger. In the abstract, in a state of separation, as a subject considered in the abstract, i.e., without reference to particular persons or things. Abstracted. Preposition. Separated, refined, exalted, abstruse, absent in mind. Milton. Dawn. Abstractly. Adverb. In a separate state, or in a contention only. Dryden. Abstractedness. Noun. The state of being abstracted. By Baxter. Abstractor. Noun. One who makes an abstract or summary. Abstracting. Separating. Making a summary. Abstraction. Noun. The act of speaking, or state of being separated. The operation of the mind when occupied by abstract ideas, as when we can contemplate some particular part or property of a complex object as separate from the rest. Thus, when the mind considers the branch of a tree by itself, or the color of the leaves as separate from their sides or figure, the act is called abstraction. So also when it considers whiteness, softness, virtue, excellence as separate from any particular objects. Encyclopedia. The power which the understanding has of separating the combustions which are presented to it is distinguished by logicians by the name of abstraction. Stewart. Abstraction is the groundwork of classification by which things are arranged in orders, genera, and species. We separate in idea the qualities of certain objects which are of the same kind from others which are different in each, and arrange the objects having the same properties in a class or collected body. And I think I will stop there. Until tomorrow. Read the dictionary. Goodbye.